Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to be reviewing my final paper for English 114 online. The paper really was supposed to revolve around what you would do, what your career field you were going into, and my career field was going to be I was going to try to go into the electrical field and be an electrician. Mainly the paper revolves around what an electrician is, what they do, what you need to do to become one in order to get your license to be one. So, anyways, the paper starts out with my letter enclosing my essay, and continues to go down my table of contents and illustrations and whatnot. And the paper starts here. So here the introduction, I'm able to give a solid background on what an electrician is and what they do and how they do it and whatnot, and mainly just what you need to know and whatnot. Their salary is very important as well. How much you can make after you become an experienced one, of course. And here's a chart that compares electrician to other trades and whatnot. And my paper also focuses on trades as well, because trade school is very underrated in my opinion. I think trade school would be should be more focused on by school. We really encourage people to go to these 4-year universities and waste all this money and come out with a degree and have no idea what they're done to do. But people don't talk about trade school or these trades that are very lucrative opportunities for people to go in fields and make some money, and they're not really talked about. Back when I was in high school, we never really even touched on it. It was really more about what college do you want to go to, or you need to make these grades. It was really more about taking tests than it was actually asking what you wanted to do for the rest of your life. So, yeah. So anyways, this is just the salary section. This goes back to what I was talking about earlier. The problem. That's the problem I mainly see with these the high school. They don't really go into what you want to do. They're more about taking tests and pushing you doing and into the next level, but they never look ahead. They just focus on now. I will say there is a downside to being an electrician in these trades. It's a very dangerous job if you're not careful. There's been numbers of deaths in people. Most of the time it results from carelessness. From what I've noticed. People don't just die walking in. It's just people being careless and not being careful. So it's important for people to be careful and take care of their bodies. Being an electrician can be very dangerous, especially if you work on power lines and it's raining and you're not careful. So it's also just remember to take care of yourself and be careful while on the job and whatnot. So that was the purpose of the paper. The purpose is just more or less to inform people and let people know that these jobs out here exist. You don't have to go to these 4-year universities and spend all that money to have a job that pays well, and just it's much easier for people to do this than it would be to go and spend all that money and build up college debt. In trade school, you can have paid off within a reasonable amount. So anyways, if we go down here to the bottom, my suggestions for fixing this and recommendation is just encourage people to go to these trade schools or just community college, and learn these things. And it'd be better for people to figure it out rather than going straight to college, unless they have a full-on scholarship. But majority of people won't have that kind of situation. I'd recommend going to trade school or talking about something that makes more sense, something that's a little bit more practical, because a lot of these young people end up going to these universities for 4 years, and they'll get these loans and they'll build up so much debt, and they end up hurting themselves more than they do help themselves. And it's just a huge problem that I do see today. I see a lot of students doing it when they could easily go to a college that's affordable, learn something that's valuable, and make money and have their debts paid off within a reasonable time. I feel like blue collar jobs are frowned upon, and they really shouldn't be, because there's people who make pretty good money doing them. So anyways, this was my final project for my English online class. I hope that it was somewhat informal and can help people realize that blue collar jobs that people need to do them. It's a job that needs to be done. Thanks for paying attention, and have a good day.